Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to start a new video series. I call it the Flavor Chasing Series. In the videos of this series, I'm going to spend more attention on the finer details of how to flavor your dish and how to cook your dish in the way to achieve its maximum flavor potentials. For those of you who are already familiar with my fast cooking system, these videos will help you to move your cooking to the next level. In this video, I'm going to show you how to achieve the flavor and texture of a coconut shrimp dish that I first tasted in a Thai restaurant. Okay, let's get into the kitchen and see what we could do. For this dish, I'm going to use some large raw shrimp. They have been peeled, deveined, and tailed off. The quality of this shrimp is excellent, and I got it from Sam's Club, and it comes in a 3-pound bag. This shrimp costs about $5 a pound, which is very reasonable. In terms of its cost and quality, it is probably among the best value. The shrimp are individually frozen using a method called flash freezing, so they thaw out easily. All I have to do is to put them in a bowl of lukewarm water, and they'll be thawed out in about 10 minutes. I have created a light batter for the shrimp using cornstarch, coconut flakes, and eggs. The cornstarch provides a crispy texture to the breading of the shrimp, and the egg holds everything together. It is important to me because I want the coconut to stay on the shrimp. I started with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. After I mixed it for a while, I decided I probably can use a little bit more cornstarch, so I add about another tablespoon of cornstarch. Still, the breading is relatively light compared to some other coconut shrimp that are deep fried that use flour. This way, it makes the shrimp has a crispier taste, but it also lower in calorie, so it is probably healthier. Let's how they work when we actually going to fry it later. The dish that I originally have at the Thai restaurant consists of asparagus, but I decided that I'm going to use some Brussels sprouts instead. I love Brussels sprouts. Besides, I have some in my refrigerator. As you can see here, I'm going to cut the Brussels sprouts into quarters. This makes them easier to stir fry. Stir frying the Brussels sprout is a much better way to cook them. I used to microwave them, then they become very soggy. So Brussels sprouts, when they cook the right way, really is truly delicious. I think I have a vegetarian cat here. I'm going to cook the shrimp and vegetable separately because this way I have a better control of the texture of each of these ingredients. I'm going to cook the shrimp first. I want to make sure that I season my wok well with my spot seasoning method. If you're not familiar with this method, you can take a look at this video. I'm going to add the shrimp to the wok one by one. I use a pair of tongs. This method, I call it a shallow frying method. It is very efficient for frying because you don't have to use a lot of oil, just enough to cover the bottom of the wok. This method is great for frying a small batch, but if you're going to fry a large batch, deep frying is definitely more efficient. In this demonstration, I'm using a Cuisinart stainless steel 14-inch wok. Now this wok has a much larger bottom surface area compared to other type of wok, so it makes it very suitable for doing this particular task. In fact, I'm using the bottom surface of the wok just as a small frying pan. I keep the stove heat setting at about medium-low to prevent from the heat getting too hot and burn the shrimp. Next, I flip the shrimp around. As you can see that it does a really good job. The bottom of the shrimp that face the wok has already turned into a golden color. As you can see, it creates a very nice breading, and although some of the shrimp may be cooked a little bit too long, get a bit too burn. So, but nevertheless, overall, they all seem to be doing a pretty good job. And most importantly, the coconut flakes stay on the surface of the shrimp. I have used this shallow frying method for other type of food ingredients as well. For example, I would do this shallow frying with chicken, and sometimes I also do it with mushroom. Once in a while, I like something that is deep fried, but I don't want to use a lot of oil. So this shallow frying method is a good substitute for deep frying. Yes, it is a little bit labor intensive because you have to turn each piece one by one. But for cooking a small portion, this is not a bad method at all. By now, I think they're ready, and I'm going to set them aside, which I will mix in with the vegetable after I cook the vegetable portion of the dish. The total cook time of this is about 4 minutes. I have learned this trick from my cousin Marge, is that not to use too much oil in the beginning when you stir fry some vegetable. When you don't have a lot of oil, the vegetable will get slightly charred on the surface. This will provide better flavor for the vegetable. So as you can see in here, I add the Brussels sprouts and the carrot to the wok with only minimum amount of oil. A slight charring on the surface of any food ingredient provide additional flavor, and this is why grilling is so attractive. However, I don't want to burn the vegetable too much, so I add additional oil. Once you add oil, the vegetable will be now cooked through the oil, so the temperature will not be as high that will not result in charring. So far this worked out just right for me, and you can see that there are slight charring on the surface of the Brussels sprouts. There are many ways to cook Brussels sprouts, such as cook them in a microwave or grill them in the oven. I find that stir fry probably is among the best way because you can carefully control the texture that you want to achieve. Personally, I like my Brussels sprout to have a crunch to it, so I carefully monitor the texture of the Brussels sprout as I cook. I do not want to overcook them. I have learned there are different tricks in cooking vegetables. For example, cooking the broccoli, the strategy will be slightly different in comparison, in this case, cooking the Brussels sprouts. Personally, I find the greatest pleasure in eating vegetables is their texture. So overcooking vegetable is usually a very negative aspect to me when I come to a dish. At this point, the Brussels sprout has achieved the texture that I would like them. So I did a taste test, and it tastes good to me. Next, I'm going to make a light sauce. So first, I'm going to add some water to the wok. I'm going to season the dish first with some oyster sauce, and then I follow by some hoisin sauce. After a few quick mix, the dish is ready to be served. I remove the wok from the stove and put it on the kitchen counter. I add the shrimp to the content and mix it up. The reason I take it off the stove because I have an electric stove. Even I shut it off, the heat will still be continue, and so I want to make sure I do not overcook the ingredients. I transfer the contents to a serving plate. The time for cooking the vegetables is about 3.5 minutes, so the total cook time of this dish is a little bit over 8 minutes. The shrimp was excellent, and the Brussels sprout also match extremely well in this dish. As you can see, what I have done is that I use my basic shrimp stir-fry template and make minor modifications to achieve the desired results. Clearly, this is the benefit of template-based cooking, because through template-based cooking, you understand the principles of each steps, so you know where's the limitation that you could make changes. At the same time, by understanding the process, you can make small changes that could lead to big differences. As one of my chef friend, Danny, told me once, he said there's no right or wrong in cooking. The ultimate judgment is that how it tastes to you. He told me that when he trained his chef, he never gave them a recipe. Instead, he would explain the principle to them and ask them how would they do to achieve the outcome. He told me that in this case, each cook might cook the same dish slightly differently, but it will always have the highest standard. So this coconut shrimp dish might not be exactly the same as the one that I tasted in a Thai restaurant a number of years ago. However, according to my memory of what it tastes like, I feel that the version that I've created matched it or even exceeded it. I think the most important aspect of flavor chasing is to pay attention to small details in the cooking process. And I believe no details is too small. The more you're understanding how each step functions, the more likely you will be able to achieve the outcome that you wish. Thank you for watching. I hope you find the information in this video is helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.